Good morning. This is our first class on HTML. So welcome to Code with Beth-el. Okay. Um, this is a simple guide for beginners. So this class will be quite brief. We'll just be introducing you to the basics of HTML. But before we start, I would like you to open your browser and make some quick downloads. If you have the course outline, you would have been able to go through this process, but for us to be able to code, we need a code editor. So my favorite is VS Code. I already have it downloaded, but I'll just take you through the process. It's by Microsoft. So you just go code.visualstudiocode.com, code.visualstudiocode.com. That's all. Just go to that platform and you'll be able to download VS Code. Either you're using Mac or you're using Windows. It works for any of them. This is the site, so you just go to download and you'll be able to download for Windows, download for Linux or Mac. It's very easy and straight to the point, and it works on anyone. So just pick one and download Visual Studio Code, and we'll be able to continue with our classes. It's very important you have a code editor. Apart from Visual Studio Code, there are other code editors you could use, but for this course I would be using Visual Studio Code. But you can check Sublime. I think Sublime text, and I know it's also quite open source and very free as well. You can download for Windows, and you can I think they have a paid and the free one also. So depends on which one you would like to use, but I personally would go with Visual Studio Code. But still, they are both, you just need a code editor that is quite advanced. Some people use Notepad. There's also Notepad++. I think that's also very good also. Notepad++. Notepad++. You can actually check that one out also. So basically you are free to use any code editor you're comfortable with. Well, I've not used Notepad++ before. I have not equally used Sublime before, but I've used PyCharm by IntelliJ and VS Code, and that is all we'll be using VS Code for this course. So just download it and we'll get started next. Now, if your install went correctly, you'll have something like this, Visual Studio Code. I've actually been working with this for a while, but basically this is what you would have. I would advise you go on here, the extension panel, and download on the Visual Studio Code. Actually download some extensions that will actually help you in the coding process. It is very for some reason my VS Code is acting up. Actually, I have a lot of programs running behind. I think so basically you just go to the extensions, and there are a few extensions you would want to just type in HTML. You would want to install that would help in this class. So this HTML snippets, it is good for you to have it. It is good for you to have it. Then this HTML CSS supports, I think basically these two, or this one alone even, will help you as we continue. Just look for it, HTML CSS, HTML snippets on your VS Code market space, please. That's just it. Just get started, with your system connected to the internet, basically you come here and type HTML on the marketplace and you'll be able to get access to this. Then you download. I've already installed it already, so I don't have to do that process again, but it's a very simple process. You see an install button, you click install, and that's that. So if you've been able to follow the process so far, then let's get on with our class. So now back to our class. What is HTML really all about? What is HTML? HTML is a language used to create documents for the web. That's the simplest way to to put it. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, is made up of elements, and these elements are made up of tags. That's all this combined make up the basic structure of a web page. Any web page, go online, any site you see there is made up of HTML. That's the basic bare bone structure of the web, basically. So what are HTML elements? Remember, in our definitions we said HTML is made up of elements, and these elements are made up of tags, and all this combined make up the basic structure of a web page, right? So what are elements? An HTML element most times comprises of an opening and a closing tag, and I would say and everything in between, what the tag is enclosing and what is opening. So basically these tags help organize the structure of our web page. Although some elements do not have closing tags, as we'll see in this same class, but basically this is how a structure is, or how this whole structure, the opening tag and the closing tag, all together plus whatever they are enclosing, all together form an element. So let's not get things confused here. An element comprised of an opening and a closing tag, and everything they're enclosing. That's basically what an element is. So what are tags? These are tags. The opening part or the closing part, they are tags. So tags are basic building blocks of an HTML document, or we'll say tags are basic building blocks of an HTML element, while HTML elements build up an HTML document. So maybe that makes it more explanation. And like I said in the previous slide, that not all tags are in pairs of opening and closing. Some, like the BR tag or the break tag, actually is a self-closing tag, so it's just one. It doesn't have an opening or a closing. So like I said, this class is going to be very brief and quick, so let's just keep going. So since we now know what an HTML tag is, and we now know what an HTML element is, so now we have the next aspect is HTML attributes. HTML attributes help give information about the tag. So let me just put in a very simple term without what's on the slide. HTML element attributes are inside of an HTML tag. Basically, HTML helps give information about the tags they are found in. They also help in styling and manipulating appearance of a tag with CSS and JavaScript. We'll see that in subsequent classes, but if you can see, this is an HTML tag, this is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. Inside of this tag is what we call HTML attributes. This attribute is an href attribute that turns this link tag, that tells this link tag wherever you click the link button, it will take you to google.com, basically. So that is what an attribute is. It's actually found inside of the opening tag. Basically, firstly, this is the opening tag. Attributes are found inside of the opening tags. Then they help give functionality to the tag itself. Like for instance, this is a link tag, and if without this href attribute, it won't lead anywhere. But with this now, when you click on this, if you notice, you go to a web page. Let me go to a web page. Let me go to the home page. So you see these are actually links that you click and it will take you somewhere. But what is actually here is this same link tag. What's making this like this, that if you click it, it will take you somewhere, is actually this attribute inside. But this one takes you to google.com, but the one I clicked earlier, this one takes you to the page we just left. So if I click it, it takes us to this page. So basically, what is making that link have this functionality to do this is this attribute called href, which is behind. You won't be able to see it because it's what you can just see is just this link word, or what they want you to see here. Our other platform, like what in our own case we wrote link, but what they wrote here is other platforms and takes you there. So in our own case that we wrote link, it will take you to, when you click on the link, it will take us to google.com. So basically that is just how attributes work, and in this case our link attributes, href attributes for the link tag basically. So please don't get confused in any way. We are going to actually practicalize this whole thing, but I'm just trying to give you an introduction to it, so that when it comes later in the course, you'll be able to understand and use it. So don't get confused in any way. In case I've been too fast or I've said some things that may look complicated, it is not. It is very easy. Coding is very easy, and do not have it in mind that it's complex. It is not. So let's go. The basic HTML structure comprises of like a parent-child relationship. That is how HTML is. Objects are, will I say, tags or elements are nested inside of each other. That's how the HTML structure is. It involves a parent-child relationship. Like we can see, this is the first, you put a doc type before this your HTML document, but that's not what it's about. If you notice, this HTML tag, this is the opening HTML tag, closing HTML tag, then every other thing is inside as children of the HTML tag. So that's how HTML documents are. They are nested in a parent-child relationship. Then we now have the head tag, then the body tag. These two are siblings. Instead of the head tag, we have the title tag. Instead of the body tag, we have the article, and it's so basically everything inside of this are children of this. Then you have siblings, and this is just like an example basically. Then the same thing with the head, they have siblings like that, but it is like a parent-child relationship. So instead of the paragraph tag P, there could be other children as well, and other children will have different siblings like that. So they are nested in parent-child relationship, but overall the overall parent is the HTML tag. And as we go to see, then we go into the head tag, then the body tag, and we'll put things inside, other elements inside. So basically that's how HTML elements are structured. And as we proceed with this class, we'll be seeing this structure as we expand it. It's very easy, and you're going to enjoy it. Don't let the whole structure thing look tricky. So now getting started, before we begin to write some code, like I said, we've already done in the beginning, you need your code editor installed. We'll be using VS Code, like I said in the beginning, and you could also use Sublime and Notepad++ or any other code editor that you're comfortable with, but basically I'll be using VS Code. So now, if you've been able to take anything from this class, thank you. But like I said, first, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is the basic building structure for web pages, and HTML documents are made up of elements Elements are made up of tags. In tags, they are attributes. This is like the summary of this whole class. If you can be able to get that in your mind and keep it, then we'll now be able to proceed to the next classes. Thank you very much for sticking to the end of this. I know I've been talking too fast, and I want the video to be a lot more shorter so that you'll be able to understand and download and probably play on your way as you do your daily activities. But basically, in the next class, we'll be going into practical. We'll be opening VS Code and be writing some code. So I know I'm really excited about this. I hope you are too. So let's get started. See you in the next class. Thank you.